Good day, everybody. Good day, good day, good day. Hope everyone's doing well. Please ping anybody who needs to be in there. How are you doing? How is everyone doing? Let me know how you're doing. We've been through a lot in the past couple of months, weeks, days. So I just want to know how's everyone doing? How are you feeling? Is it intense? Has it slowed down? Have you been able to relax? Have you been able to find rest? What is going on? And let me know because that also helps with totally broke down this morning. Yep. Yeah. And it's actually good. That's not a bad thing to totally break down. How do you feel now? I'm sure you feel 10 times better than you felt prior to. I'm sure it helped release whatever was bottled up. We tend to keep things bottled up, you know? We tend to keep things deep within our heart. And that's not what he wants. He wants us to legit um, release it, trust him, fall into his arms. And I would definitely say us as women, us as believers, it's really hard to do that. It's really hard um, to trust God. And remember, we found out trust means rely. It's really hard to rely on God. So bad. I even reached out to my accountability partner, but she hasn't called back. Then it's not for your accountability partner. As we learned in our live training, um, that is something you're going to have to go through. And then when she calls, trust me, you're going to be like, oh, I got it. Thank you. But no, when we break down, that is not a bad thing. When you break down in release, that actually helps. Even though in our mind we feel like it's contrary, we feel weak, we feel less than, it's so when I say it's the opposite in the realm of the spirit, it is always the opposite in the realm of the spirit. How when you break down, I remember one day last week, I think I travailed like 5 different times. I was listening to music and I travailed. I was watching a movie and I travailed. I went outside to water the grass and was just like, oh my God. And I travailed again. I was like, what the heck? This is the most I think I've ever. But you don't understand how heavy this season has been. Just December to today, how heavy it's been. And we don't understand how much we tend to carry and withhold from God, how much we tend to absorb in our body, how much we tend to absorb deep within that our spirit man just has to release. It's going to break. It needs reprieve. And we look at it again. What do we talk? Suck it up. Be strong. Stop crying. Boys and girls when we're young. Why you cry for everything? Why are you so sensitive? That's the world. But what does God say? Come to me, all who are, hey, heavy laden and burdened. Come find rest in me. I mean, all of his words are come to me, release it, let it go. Remember, our world is the opposite. Yep, all of it came rolling out and I just cried. Yes, that you needed that. Your body needed it because you were holding on to it. Your spirit needed it because your spirit was overwhelmed. Your mind needed it. And now you can start fresh. And if you don't feel like you're done, do it again. Get it all out. So, because remember, and I don't know if you guys have ever heard me say this or paid attention to this, but you always have to release a sound before you can get a breakthrough. I'm going to say that again. You have to release a sound before you can get a breakthrough. Why? Because Jericho, he taught us that. He said, march around. He didn't just say just that one time, 7 times, and then scream, yell. There's something when, and then I'm going to tell you, my day that I travailed about 4 or 5 times, I literally at that night said, God, show me how much my tears are worth to you. What? Oh, I don't play. I don't play. When it's a rough season, when it's a hard season, when it's a heavy season, show me how much my tears are worth because you say you bottled. I remind him of everything, you guys. Never, ever stop reminding him. Okay? Never stop reminding him of what he said. You said my tears are valuable, that you watch over them. You said every hair on my head, you know. So if you know every hair on my head, you know how heavy my heart is. You know that I've been crying, my pillows are soaked, whatever. How much are my tears worth? Oh, I got a quick answer. Trust you me. Because I'm going to go, this is not my message, but we just going to roll with it because clearly it's a heavy day for many. Lazarus. There, let me pull it up because I don't want to butcher it. I have a prayer about Lazarus. Let's see if I can find it real quick in my notes. Let's see. Lazarus prayer. Okay. So I believe it's John 11, 41 to 44. Don't quote me. These are my notes from November 26, 2022. But I believe so. So basically, when you read it, it says, so they took away the stone. Then Jesus looked up and said, Father, I thank you that you have heard me. Did you see that? He thanks God for hearing him. We need to also. I knew that you always hear me, but I said this for the benefit of the people standing here. You got to remember, everybody listening to me right now, you got to remind God, I know you hear me. You're just quiet right now. You're waiting. It's divine timing, which is actually what I labeled this room, divine timing. Then it says, thank you that you heard me. That's one time. I knew that you always hear me. That's twice. When he repeats or God repeats, it's powerful, period. Then he says, I said this for the benefit of the people standing here that they may believe that you sent me. Know that there is always somebody watching you. I don't care if you live alone and you don't have any friends and you work at home, somebody's watching you. Your neighbor, the grocery store attendant, whatever. Your sister, when they call you, somebody is watching you. And as long as somebody is watching you, then I said this for the benefit of the people standing here that they may believe that the reason why Moses was able to be like, God, what if there's 5? What if there's 4? What if there's 3? It wasn't because he was partitioning and begging and pleading and gambling with God. No, he was not. He was reminding God, you said as long as there is one among us, as long as there's 2 among us, your presence is there. What if there's 2? You can't destroy it because guess who's going to look like a liar? You've got to remind God of his character. You got to remind God of what he said in the word. And if your life is not lining up in an alignment with what he said, he's got to move. He's got to change it. Why? Because then he looks like a liar. There are times when I'm like, God, these witches and warlocks are really running my life ragged, and I look like I have a streak of bad luck. And I know I'm blessed. I know I'm favored. These are your words. You said I'm the head and not the tail. You said I'm blessed going and coming. I don't see that. And the people that you have, and this is the kicker, the people you have assigned to my life, if I can't see it, they can't see it. So now their words are, she's not blessed. She's CURSED. She's got something else going on with her. Okay? Yes, you've got to put God in remembrance of his word. And you've got to let him know that you hear him, he hears you. What's going on? Because my life is not reflecting my obedience. Now, that's the real truth. If you feel your life is not reflecting your obedience, then you need to check your obedience. Seriously. Look around, see what you've been doing. Go back to your last act of obedience. Go back to your last act of disobedience. Have you repented? Do your checklist. I've given you guys enough things. Then once you do all that and still nothing, you travail and you still see nothing. I promise you, when I travail, and it's not always It's not always going to be tangible. I don't want you guys to always say, "Oh, I travailed and then boom, the wall fell and then I rushed into my millions. I rushed into my husband, my wife. I rushed into a promotion." No. I want you to acknowledge that the you travail, you ask God, "Show me how much my tears are worth." You know what he showed me by giving me a glimpse of my future. He showed me by showing me something that I thought was the opposite, and that's all I needed. And it put a smile on my face, and it's been holding me since. See, you've got to be okay with just a little from God. You've got to be okay with God just giving you, how can I explain this, God? You got to be okay with, let's say you're searching for a job and you're like, God, I don't know. I've been looking and the funds are running out. I've been without a job for 2 months and that's about all I have in the bank and it's drying up. Okay, you travail. Okay, you cry out. Okay, you're on your knees. You're worship. You're doing everything. You've repented. You've went back to your last place of obedience, last place of disobedience. You've even asked him to show you if there's anything else that's hidden, blinders, weaknesses, all the things that I've taught you. Then you say, God, show me how much my pain, my hurt, my tears are worth because you said you bottled them up and they're precious to you. And then you go on LinkedIn and you're searching for a job and you connect or you see someone that you know in the same job company that you want to work in. There's your glimmer of hope. There's your wink, as they would say. There's your, you see, nothing happened. Nothing tangibly happened, but something tangibly happened. Your entire spirit should have shifted. But we tend to want to look at, but I'm still BROKE. I still don't have a job. No, but he gave you a breadcrumb. This is why I'm teaching you guys to be aware of your signs. Be aware of the numbers that you see. Always be aware of what's around you, the butterflies, the dragonflies, the numbers, the billboards, your digital world, because they keep you tunnel vision. It's kind of like my daughter swimming, right? I told you she's swimming. And she got in trouble yesterday because the coach, just like I've been saying, is stop looking around when you swim. You're wasting time. I was told that. Stop looking when you're running. Run your race. That's even scriptural. So a lot of you tend to look around and not just at other people, but at other people. But you look around and it's just like, I'm still broke. But God just showed you, you asked him to show you a purple butterfly. And every time you see a purple butterfly, that means you're en route to get your millions. Every time you see a white butterfly, that means you're en route to get your spouse. Every time you see a dragonfly, that means you're still walking in love. Those are just three things. Okay. So you see a dragonfly and you're like, oh, okay. You see a purple butterfly, you see a white butterfly, but then you look at your bank account and you're just like, oh my God, and you spiral out of no, it's reverse it. When you see that purple butterfly, that means you are whatever I said it meant. Let's say I said it because I don't remember. I said it meant your spouse is coming. You're en route to meet your spouse. Thank him. Stay there for at least a minute, 2 minutes. Just stay in. Oh my God. Because it's not, remember, it precedes. Signs precedes. They follow. They don't, not precedes. They follow. They don't proceed. So if you say, show me, you prescribe what you want your sign to do for you. And you don't look for it. You expect it, but you don't look for it. You don't go, oh, where's butterfly? Where's butterfly? No, you're driving and then you see a butterfly, a big old purple butterfly on someone's back of their car. I've had that happen because I don't know if a purple butterfly exists, but I asked for a purple butterfly. And guess what? A car cut me off. I looked up and I realized, oh my God, they've got two huge purple butterflies. But she had to cut me off because the way she was next to me, the purple butterfly was behind the driver's side. I can't see that with her car right next to me as I'm driving in the same lane. So God forced her to cut me off, and I had a choice. I could have got angry and got mad and missed my sign. But I looked up and I said, oh, you cut me off because you wanted me to see two huge purple butterfly stickers. I got my answer. That's what you use them for. Every time you see it, okay, God, I'm still en route. To know that that's like a GPS. Let me shift you right here. You're going cross country, Utah to freaking Florida. Let's do that. You don't know where you're going. Every time you look at the GPS and it's still on route, you're like, yes. If it rerouted and detoured, I've seen Instagram and TikToks where the girl is like, "Oh my god, we've been going out of the direction for 2 hours. How do I tell him?" Yeah, that feels horrible. You just wasted 2 hours, some 30 minutes, some 5. It doesn't matter. As long as your GPS is showing you you're going in the right direction and those numbers are counting down, you're excited. I need you to pick up that same pace when you put and prescribe something to a insect, a animal, a sign. Every time I see a U-Haul truck, that means I'm moving. If you're not moving, you're not going to see any U-Haul trucks. He's not going to make you see them. Every time, if you're moving, you're going to see U-Haul trucks. The closer I get to moving, I want to see 2 or 3 a day. You're going to see 10 because he's answering you. Be content with your answers. Be content with what he says to you. Be content with what he shows you to keep you in the alignment. So someone said, I took my issues to the court like you showed me. Hope they will get it together soon. Now I'll do this too. Hey, perfect. Love it. Absolutely. Courts. Don't forget the courts. Go to the courts. Lay it out there. Yeah, we've got to remember um, we are in the midst of being refined to mastery lessons. That's why these are so hard. That's why these are so intense. You're not just learning to fight fear. You're not just learning to get rid of anger. You're not just uprooting anger. You are mastering the art of not being angry. You are in the process of mastering the art of not being fearful. So that when you go to the next realm, next level, next spiritual dimension, that thing that pops up, that fear that you mastered, it won't have a hold on you. You are in mastery season. And I want you to understand that that's like going from getting your bachelor's is one thing. Getting your master's, come on, you guys. How many of you guys have your master's? Drop a one in the chat. I didn't go because I didn't want to. I was done with school. I was tired of school. I was like, nope. I had a free year. I had my 5th year, and I was like, I don't want to do it. And people were just like, oh my God, they could have paid for it. I was like, I'm good. I am good. And I don't regret it. I don't have any regrets in my life. None except for one, and that's not playing soccer. That is the only regret I ever have in my life. Other than that, when I make a decision, I'm sold on it, I'm owning it, and I'm moving with it. Consequences or greatness to it, it doesn't matter. So you got one person put that they got their master's. That in itself was a whole nother level from bachelor's. Correct me if I'm wrong, please, on Clubhouse. The one who put Levon, correct me. That was a whole nother level of studying, a whole nother level of sacrifice, a whole nother level of stretching your mind. I mean, I could keep going. See, yes, that's where we are. I have friends who got their masters. They're in the middle of it. They're like, what the heck did I sign up for? At the age of 19, 20, 22, and at the age as an adult, still the same thing is, whoa, this is no joke. The level is that's where we are. If I have to put it to where you can understand it in our real world, you have gone from learning lessons in bachelor degree, getting your bachelor's, learning lessons on that level, to now getting your master's and mastering these things. He needs us to master them. That is the only time when you master a lesson. Hear me and remember this. You now know the difference because you can feel the difference between mastery and bachelor. And you'll vacillate between the two from now on. But when you are in a mastery lesson, you never see that again. You never see that demon again. You never see that entity again. Okay? I need you guys to hear that. You will never see that demon and entity. That's the Red Sea. That's why it's so intense. That's the when he parts it for you. Other than that, all the other lessons are regular. I mean, they're not regular because they're intense too, but there's just a different level. And that's where we are. Because he's like, hey, it's time to move. Hey, it's time to go. Hey, I need you to go. I have a friend and so a couple of people who have moved, and it's not going the way they thought, but it's going the way it's supposed to. And I had to remind a couple, both of them. Do you remember that when the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they had everything handed to them? Manna at their doorstep. Quail at their doorstep. When they had no water, he brought water that was bitter and turned it into sweet water. Shoes grew with them, clothes grew with them. They never wanted for nothing. Well, think about this. When they went from that to the land of milk and honey, guess what they had to learn how to do? They had to learn how to till the ground. They had to learn how to work. That's a transition. We think that it's just going to be poof, let me go into my land of milk and honey and it's going to be easy. No. These people, because he waited a whole generation. That means the youngest that was born was a minimum 40 years old. The oldest was double that, which was Joshua, who was 80 something. So between 80 and 40 were the ones who left, and if they had kids that were just born between that. They didn't know nothing else. Spoon fed, water given to them, clothes given to they didn't have to do a thing. Now you telling me I'm in my land of milk and honey. You told me to leave, but now I gotta fend for myself. That's a learning curve, you guys. I hope I'm shifting you right here. That is an absolute learning curve to the point where you live in Goshen and everything's handed to you. But once you get out of Goshen, now go ahead and make your millions. Go ahead and start working. Let's make it in 21st century terms. Go ahead and go down social media and put your business out there. You don't know. You don't even really know what social media is like that. Some of us that are new to social media, some of us that are new, we were on social media, but it was social. Now your business, that's a whole nother mindset. Why do you think we keep having all these mastery lessons? You're in a season, a new era where you were spoon fed, you were covered, you were protected. God gave things. He allowed things. And some of you may be like, "Well, I don't feel that way." Yes, he did. What happened during COVID? They gave the whole US, and I'm sure I don't know about overseas, money to survive COVID. Come on now. We can't dismiss that. That was God. That was a wealth transfer. She's not in here, but there was a lady who literally last year, or maybe the year before, last year, I let her come into the community and do a session. And she said, we had partial wealth transfer. When she tallied up how much all of us got, oh my God. See, they broke it into chunks. I think they gave us on average 750 per kid, right? So that would be 750 times 12. Is that 1500? No. What is wrong with my calculator? That's 9,000. 750 times 12 months. That's 9,000. If you've got 3 kids, that's 27,000. And that's what she said. She said, for those of you who have multiple kids, the year that they gave money, that was $27,000 extra. What'd you do with it? He gave us money. Just gave it to you every month in a check. Now, when she asked that, a lot of people she was like, "Did you invest it?" People were like, "No. We spent it. We needed it." She was like, "Are you sure you needed it or you thought you needed it?" And you know what? I sowed mine as a seed into my kids. I put the majority of it into swimming. And guess who's still swimming? And guess who's about to compete? My daughter. I sowed into her future. And she was just like, if you sowed it, if you invested it, if you saved it or multiplied it, you will get more. And I'm just bringing that back around because I know many of you in your mind was like, when did God just give to me? When was it easy like that? Yeah, that year. Just recently. Every month. Most of us, not everybody, because I do have some friends who are like, I ain't getting no check. And then if you got it, you yourself got a check. My husband got a check. I got a check. What did you do with it? How did you handle that? That was a trial by fire to see how you do with the wealth transfer. When she said that, I was floored because nobody looked at it like that. Everybody just looked at it as the government's giving us money. No, that was God's way of trying you. That was God's way of showing you you. People went and, or even the PPP loans, people went and bought millions of dollars worth of stuff and cars, scamming. Very, very normal people who would never go to jail. Never go to jail. We ain't even got to get into that because I don't want to touch that. I don't want to put my mouth on that. I'm just trying to show you that we were blessed and we were living in Goshen and we were covered. There was a plague and he covered many of us. I don't care if you got it once or twice, you're still here because there are people who got it once and died. So when I say you're mastering things right now, and when you master things, that means you will never see it again. Done. And if you see it again, it's not going to do the same. It's not going to fit. It cannot, because you mastered that lesson. Mastering a lesson is different than just learning a lesson. Like I said, it's like getting your bachelor's degree and getting your master's degree. Totally different. Hey, how are you? Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that on wisdom. Totally different. Two totally different levels. Getting your master's versus getting your bachelor's, it requires a whole nother level of sacrifice, a whole nother level of mindset, a whole nother level of expanding your consciousness, a whole nother level of everything. And that's where every one of you are right now. You are mastering the lesson, whether it's emotions, whether it's timing, whether it's patience, whether it's financial issues. I think I told you guys, if I haven't, I looked up the word steward because it just kept coming. Steward money, steward money. And I was like, steward means to multiply, you guys. It doesn't mean to just make sure it's taken care of. It means multiply. So when God says, are you stewarding the money? What are you doing with what I gave you? He expects, and that's in the talent story. He expects you to multiply it. And multiply doesn't mean just if I give you $1, you give me back 3, or you you give me back 2. No. It's kind of like sewing. You sew into your kids. You do something for your kids that you couldn't afford to do before. You're sewing, like maybe art classes or maybe taekwondo class, something that you're sewing, or you sewed into a ministry, or you sewed in. That's also stewarding. That's multiplying because you just multiplied someone's life. So in 2021 or 2020, I can't remember now, whenever the money was released, especially in the US, like I said, I don't know anywhere else, but in the US, money was released monthly to keep the economy going. That was part of the wealth transfer. And I really want you to sit back and kind of assess, what did you do with it? Are you worthy of getting more? Are you worth that was 9,000 a kid on top of your, I forgot what the adults got, certain age. And each kid was different. I know it was 750 for a certain age. It was whatever. What'd you do with it? Those are things that you see. Those are things we don't think about. That some people came up kind of like, and I hate using this, but this was what just came to me because I watched it. I forgot the name of it, but it was Master P's story where I think his grandfather died and he gave him 10 grand. And that's what built his business. You don't need a lot of money to build a business. Yes, you got to put in to get. That's impossible to make a business without putting in money. But what I'm saying is we think we need a lot of money to start something. That 9,000 could have started something for you. That 9,000 in spite of, I'm pretty sure that 10,000 Master P needed. So I don't want to hear, oh, but I needed gas, I needed food, I needed da, 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 da. No. I'm pretty sure Master P needed that 10 grand too, but it was a sacrifice, and he put it in to his business and he turned it around into a multi-million dollar company, or billion, I'm not sure. So as I close, does anybody have anything they want to add or say? You can more than welcome to raise your hand. You can come up on wisdom, you can come up on Clubhouse, or you can just drop it in the chat. I'm just asking you, our wealth transfer came, not all of it, some of it, to where God and your angels and you can surely assess, what did I do with that money? How did I use that money that was just handed to me? Many people squandered it. And those, I'm pretty sure God probably will not be blessing them with a wealth transfer, not this go round. Those that held on to it, same thing. You got to steward it, which means multiply it. You got to multiply it. If anything I said today has blessed you and shifted you, please drop a 1 in the chat. Because again, I wrote notes on Sunday and I haven't been able to get to it. He has totally shifted my entire message. Thank you. Thank you for being honest and posting a 1. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. We've got to start looking. Yeah, living in the wilderness, it was easy. It was hard, but it was easy. You were in the wilderness for 40 years. That should have taken what? 10 days? And or 40 days, and you stayed who knows how many percentage past that, and 1,000, 2,000, whatever, and you literally leave the shelter of his whole protection. Goshen means protection. It's a bubble. And then he pushes you into, okay, we're going into the Red Sea. Okay, boom, now you're on the other side. Here's your land of milk and honey. It has big grapes. It has everything you need. But you got to go learn to fend for yourself. Now, of course, he doesn't leave us. But I just need you guys to understand that's where we are. We've parted, we've gone past the Red Sea. He's parted it for us. And he's given us everything. And now we've got to start working it. I think they're complaining. Yes. No, 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 no. You are absolutely right. They're murmuring and complaining, postponed it. Yeah. And that's why we can't murmur and complain, because it will surely if it postpone them, it'll postpone us. He can't stand that, which is why in our community we try to eradicate that. Absolutely. So thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate you. Don't forget, the email for the All Fast has gone out. If you are interested in joining the All Fast, please you can reach out to me, because our emails are jacked. Anytime the All Fast comes around, this happens. So don't be alarmed. If you've been with the community, you totally understand. If you're interested in joining the All Fast, please just send me a message on Instagram at Real One Somalia. If you're on Wisdom, you can send me a message here on the text box that you're interested, and I'll drop the link. Our email has been locked. Yeah, my computer shut down for a whole week as soon as I started doing the All Fast, but it's typical. I'm not even fussing or complaining, because I know that just means this All Fast is going to be lit and off the chain. So if you've already received the email, you are coming up on your deadline. So please respond. I need a response. Yay. If you're not interested, don't respond. But if you are, I need a yes. If you're in the community, the link is already in the community to register. The link is already in the community for the invitation. Don't miss it, because there's a special bonus in there for you if you sign up through the community. If you're in the community, that's one. If you're outside the community, you will get the link emailed to you. I think, what's today? The 20th. What's today? I think, yes, today or tomorrow, so that you can go ahead and register and save your spot. Script for Success is August 5th. Don't forget, I need your help. That link as well. If you're interested in that link, you can reach out to me at Real One Somalia on Instagram. Again, our email is down, but it's normally executive.assistant@somaliabrown.com. And you can get that link so that all of you who know someone, you can share it with them. Script for Success is that's writing. It's for the kiddos. It's from 4th grade all the way to senior in college, where we are going to script their entire year coming up, school year 23-24. It's going to be in 2 groups. It's going to be 4th grade to 8th grade and 9th grade to senior in college. That way we can show them what we're learning. Our kids can learn from our top. We're learning it right now. So why not let our kids learn it, so it becomes second nature? And then by the time they're 20, it's like clockwork, and they are manifesting their blessings from God left and right. They ain't even got to think about it. Literally, when they think about it, it's done, because it's second nature. That's what I want. And then, of course, the All Fast is a time of consecration that you've never experienced. It's literally come and experience the All. I can't explain it. but we change our lifestyle all the way around, from our food intake. We get a bedtime, we meet, you have a private community where you meet every morning, and we pray and we seek God's face, and he gives us challenges, he gives us assignments, and we do it all together collectively, and no one gets left behind. It is a totally different experience, and if you're being led to do it, I strongly advise you to do it. Don't second guess. God knows what you need, and he knows when, and it's right on time. And yes, it's for men and women. So I don't see any comments. I don't see any questions. Thank you so much for joining me. Yes, if you just hopped in, please listen to the replay. Absolutely, sir. It will be on YouTube. I will be deleting it off of Clubhouse. So hop on YouTube at I Am Somalia to catch the replay. Thank you for always joining me on YouTube. It is a pleasure. Thank you for your support. Thank you for those of you on Wisdom who always support and come online. And of course, you guys on Clubhouse, which started this whole community. Thank you so much. It would not be anything without you guys. So I appreciate your support. I appreciate you guys coming in and let me be who I am called to be. So if you have any questions, please befriend me on Instagram, Real One Somalia. And you can send an email, but we're still working on it. We'll get it when we get it. So if it's something important, Instagram right now is probably our best, safest bet. So have an amazing day. This room and this live is closing in 3, 2, and 1. Thank you. Keep disrupting with me. Why are you bothering?